Alright, what's going on my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video, and today we are here with, once again, a new tier list. It's now August 2021, we're absolutely flying through this year, but yeah, in this tier list video today, there is something else that we're kind of like changing up. This time around, what I was doing with my previous tier list, is that on tier 0, the top tier, I was ranking them from left to right, as in like number 1 for Roger, and number 5 I thought with Big Mom. Now, I'm going to be doing that for all of the tiers moving forward now, so I'm going to be ranking each individual character in their own given tier. Now, specifically, these characters in each of these tiers are the exact same as last month, but I have reordered them into how I personally think about them in this day and age right now. So, as it stands right now, I do think Super Type Kaido is the best of tier 1, in my opinion, and the worst of tier 1, that in my opinion, is going to be Super Type Mihawk. But yeah, I just wanted to go ahead and rank each of these characters for either higher or lower with their peers in their own tier. So, hopefully you guys understand that. But before we get into the tier list, of course, we need to talk about my criteria for this tier list, which includes the power of the legend, how much damage can they overall deal to the enemy, what is their speed, so how fast can they actually clear content, how reliable are they at clearing that content, is there content that they just cannot clear because of multiple different factors, either the teams that they can use or just the inherent effects of the character, and also what's their usability and versatility like. Is this character a type of unit that can be jam-packed into a lot of different teams despite potentially not even being boosted? That's obviously going to give a lot of credence to that character being higher ranked compared to others. But anyways, let's go ahead and start from the bottom, work our way up, and see if there's any changes we want to make to these tiers, and then we'll go ahead and talk about the brand new additions to this tier list. We have 6+ Onami, Magellan, Blackbeard, and Moria. So as of me making this video, I was actually extremely lucky enough to pull all 3 of these brand new legends. I've had time to play around with them, so I can give you guys a pretty good opinion on to where I believe each of these characters are going to be ranked in this tier list. So let's start with tier 5. Are there any of these characters that I think should be moved up or moved down? I think CatDog needs to drop out. CatDog is just absolutely terrible. I don't even know where it went. CatDog is just awful, dude. Like, this character needs a 6+ so badly. I mean, dual units in general need a 6+. No, this character is terrible. I did use Smoker actually a little bit during the past month. He was actually pretty good, but you know, that's going to happen when you have a whole bunch of content that's just strength related. Smoker is going to be a pretty good option for that. But I mean, outside of that, he's only really used for his support. I still don't like V1 Shirahoshi Manchuri too much. I know that she definitely has her niche uses, being able to remove a lot of debuffs, but it's only 2 specific debuffs. I just think V2 Shirahoshi Manchuri, I've used her so much over the past month. She is ridiculous, and definitely, she seems better right now than when she did when she first released. We'll get to her a little bit later. And then the rest of these characters are fine. I mean, like, with Limit Break expansion, Judge is a really solid option as a captain. Mihawk's pretty good if you got him expanded. He's got a better captain effect. Slashes are okay. I think he's the worst of the chain captains, though. As we move on to tier 4 here, though, you know, the 2 other chain captains, I think Sanji's the best. I just think the mono fighter team, and plus with Sanji's captain effect, just works a lot better. I know that Kuzan definitely has a lot going for him, a lot of really powerful quick units in the game right now, but after using Sanji, I did make a video on him as well. Sanji was actually pretty impressive, and I really enjoyed using him. I thought he was fantastic. But having a look at the rest of this tier, I mean, Capone, honestly, I think I might want to bump Capone up to tier 3 just because he's, like, even if you don't have some of the really top tier legends, like, for example, these really good driven units, or even like versus Ace, for example, like, he can work so well with some of the driven and shooter characters. He's an attack booster for those 2 classes. I think he's really good. Where would I personally rank him, though? He's probably better than Halloween Shanks at this point. I think Halloween Shanks is pretty bad, but anyways, the rest of these characters, I mean, V3 Rayleigh definitely has his uses, but he's just a little too niche for my liking. Definitely not really good to try and shoehorn him into a team. It's like, if you've got like a spare spot and you need to get around an enemy that has a really annoying defensive effect, Rayleigh's a really good option for that, so long as you have the fighter and cerebral characters to back that up. This Rayleigh and this Corazon, wherever I put one in the tier list, I want to put the other one because their supports are the same, they're fantastic, and they've both got like really good utility-based specials. Very, very good units still. Komurasaki I did use a lot this month actually as well. She's really good. Pudding's still solid. I mean, Arlong's pretty good against the Hodigarp challenge, of course. Very, very nice unit to have. Bartu Cavendish, obviously, when all this new driven stuff is coming out, Bartu Cavendish just gets a few new toys to play around with, which is great. I still think Cracker is a phenomenal unit. Garp is still solid. But the rest of these, like Hawkins for a super type character, he's fine. I definitely would prefer to use Hawkins over Smoker, for example. But obviously Smoker has that really good support. Hawkins is fine though. You know, Dex is the worst color in the game, but he is a rainbow captain, which is nice. But mainly going to be used as a sub for sure. That tap timing bonus, so long as normal attacks only is not present, is really, really nice. And you know, obviously can allow you to get around really annoying boss fights and stuff. Big Mom's still okay in Kizuna Clash, for example, if you're building an int team. You got the V2 Admirals are still here as well, like Blackbeard, like just some of these like relatively older characters. I mean, this unit, when he 6+ did come out on Global, I did make a video with him. He was actually really good. I was actually really impressed with this 6+, but not so much with this 6+, unfortunately. Not really too many changes here. Tier 3, Luffy Zoro is still super solid. I think Kid's also okay too, so long as you're building, you know, against mono quick content. Outside of that, he's pretty bad. Very squishy captain effect, so not very good in like Colosseums and like arenas and stuff, depending. You know, as I said, if you have type advantage, Kid's really good, but if you're not running against any quick bosses, like you just shouldn't be using Kid, in my opinion. But you know, he's fine in those circumstances. He is phenomenal for his huge attack boost and stuff. Full board orb manipulation, love to see it. Lucy's still super solid, obviously. Him being quick is a huge addition for those teams, and his sailor effects are great. His special's fantastic. Just waiting for his expansion on Global, because he's definitely going to be bumped up after the fact. Same with Ace. Once his expansion drops, he's probably going to get bumped up as well. I still think Katakuri is a super solid option. Carrot's great. Carrot, by the way, is getting a 6+ in August. Or at least that's what we're thinking in the community. Carrot does seem to be the next 6+, and after what they did with Dex Sabo and his 6+, it has me excited for what they could potentially do with Carrot. So I'm really pumped for that. And of course, when that news does drop, I'll bring you guys a video covering what she actually does. We've got Chopper here as well. Honestly, a lot of people would probably bump Chopper up. I don't see it. I mean, I understand why people would do that. I mean, his special ability is really, really good still. But Captain Effect is, it's fine. It's usable, I suppose. At least as a Chopper unit. Chopper's got some pretty good supports, at least. So I know that a lot of people would probably bump him up. I think he's here for now. Just in terms of, again, this is my personal opinion and how I would personally rank the characters. I don't use Chopper that much. Realistically, I don't. So he kind of fits here for me. Sanji Judge is still a super, super cool unit. Not really much as a captain, but great special ability. Super type Sabo is just kind of but in certain circumstances, very similar to Kid. Like if you're running a full strength team in a Kizuna Clash versus Dex content, Sabo's a pretty decent option, so long as he gets cooldown and stuff. Whitebeard's okay, and the rest of them are just there. I mean, Katakuri V2 is not super great. His captain effect is actually still not bad. It's just that special ability is just awful. He needs a 6+ desperately. If he ever gets a 6+, dude, I'm gonna be so pumped for that. He desperately needs it. Moving on up to tier 2 now. Now, honestly, there is actually one change I want to make for this specific tier, and that's Germa. When I was like ordering these characters in their tier, I'm like, dude, Germa should definitely be up in the next tier. We'll talk about where his placement will be later, because I'm not too sure at the moment, but he is so good. I used him a lot during the last month. Him and the combination of him and Enel is just ridiculous, but I do think Germa is definitely a tier 1 character. And then you got the rest of the ones here, you know, Mihawk Perona is still super good if you're able to get that conditional boost off. Just a super solid option. Like sometimes you'll just be like, you know, I need a unit that can just give me a huge damage increase. And the fact that you have a lot of potential to potentially get that conditional boost to activate. Either the enemy has like not a full immunity buff, like they'll only like resist like defense down, delay, and poison, but like you can still get the negative effect off. Or if there's just multiple enemies, you can just get it off anyway, which is cool. Bullet continues to shine, you know, anytime there's any strength, quick, or int support, he just loves it. So love to see that from Bullet. Super type Zoro is really good still. Just his colors kind of His super type special also kind of but great special ability, of course, and his captain effect is nice. But I'm not a big fan of that super type special. It's just hurts him, honestly. I wish it was something else. So you got the Sweet Commanders who work obviously really well with this Bullet. NL's still okay. He's fine. Obviously, Sai has some very powerful legends in the game, and like this guy and this guy, just the combinations you can do with this. Like I did build an NL team to take on Raid Marco, and it was super impressive. Honestly, one of the better teams for it. The fact that you get super effective damage, resisting the Despair with Roger Friend Captain, NL giving color affinity to Germa to make him hit super hard. Like it just works so well. Blackbeard's still okay, but there's better int captains out there. Luffy Law was a great sub that I used throughout this month on a lot of different teams. I was actually lucky enough to pull Sanji and Pudding throughout that past month, and Luffy Law was a great sub for Sanji Pudding, actually. This guy's still super good too. This V3 Akainu, great combination of him and this Ace character, actually. I don't really think he deserves to be in tier 1, but I can understand why people would like him there. Just his conditional boost from his special sometimes will not get active. That hurts him a little bit. He doesn't get guaranteed matching slots, though his captain effect grants a lot of matching slots. But I just feel like there's so many other characters I would prefer to use over V3 Akainu, but I can understand why people use him. And if you don't have versus Ace, still a super solid captain for that. You've got Stampede Luffy, who's still pretty solid. Sabo Koala's fine. Viva Rebecca V2 V2. Like they're pretty interesting because this character has such good utility, removing special bind basically all the time, no matter what, and also removing bind as well. Like that's so nice to have, as well as a 2x attack boost and orb boost to Cerebral and Striker characters. Very similar to Sanji and Judge. Definitely like better because, you know, Cerebral and Striker are a little bit better than just mono powerhouse. But it's just unfortunate that I'm not really a big fan of their captain effect. Only very certain circumstances I'd be like, yeah, let's use Vivi Rebecca. At least they've got Hunger. Hunger's a really nice addition to that unit though. Super type Katakuri, really good in Kizuna, of course. Like there's the really key characters that are good for Kizuna Clash and stuff, but outside of that, there's not really too many instances where you're like, yeah, I'm going to use Katakuri because he's the best unit for that content. That just doesn't happen, unfortunately. And then you got Snake Man, who's still like really good still. I mean, captain ability is very lacking, but that special is still really nice to just get multiple turns of orb boost, and it's never going to be a bad special. I actually did use it for one of my teams versus Clash Marco as well. Like, actually, just a super good unit because he's a Luffy character. He's got good supports. I don't think this special will ever be considered bad, honestly. But then we move up to Tier 1. So Tier 1, this is where we made a couple of changes, of course, in terms of the order of characters. I definitely think Super Type Kaido is the best of Tier 1, and no one can tell me different. This character, man, is honestly, like, he's one of my favorite legends to use in the game. He is ridiculously good. Quick is still not the best color, but has really, really good units as of late, obviously versus Akainu, Magellan, and all those rare recruits that have come out. The free-to-play units like Queen and King. There's been good quick units released recently, and this unit, even though he is like a quick super type character, obviously can use other characters. He has the ability to inflict that debuff to the enemy, which of course, if they have full immunity, you don't get it, but you can still go ahead and get the debuff on the enemy if they don't have the full immunity. So if it's like defense down, delay, and poison immunity, you're still gonna get it. Very similar to Mihawk and Perona. This guy, you could just chuck him on your team as a crew member if you want to, just to get a 2x boost to your damage, which is so good. Like, this unit is really strong, and I don't see him being bad unless if they release another character in the future that is just better than what he does at giving the enemy that debuff. Plus, you get a guaranteed full border matching slots. If you use him as a captain, you take damage, you get a full border matching slots and the debuff inflicted every single turn. This is a great unit, and I definitely think he's the best of Tier 1. I just don't, I don't care what anyone says. In my opinion, he is the best of Tier 1, no doubt. Versus Ace is still good though. I haven't actually used Versus Ace that much. I've definitely used Akainu a lot more just because he's got great synergy with the most recently released characters. But aside from that, you know, Ace is still great, giving his orb boost, his chain boundary effect. It's just that whenever I build, if I'm ever building a free spirit team, most likely I'm using Roger as the captain. It is what it is. I just feel like Roger provides more to my team compared to what Ace is able to do. But I'm not saying Ace is bad in any sense, because I do love Ace. I think he's great. That versus effect is ridiculously powerful if you're able to get it to activate. But I just prefer Roger, basically, if I'm ever building a free spirit team. Or if I'm building a shooter team. If I am building a shooter team, then yeah, definitely Ace would be my captain of choice. But of course, shooters are not the best class in the game. But they've got some pretty good characters as of late. And also, you know, we've got the Fire Tank Pirates that should be arriving this month as well. They're definitely a great addition, not only to shooters, but also to Driven as well. So there you go. Wano Law, I still think Wano Law is like ridiculously good. Wano Law, I feel like released on global at least way ahead of his time. I know that on Japan, a lot of people didn't like it because they felt like he lacked super type, which kind of hurt the character. But honestly, if you look at him on paper, he's still a ridiculously good unit. Snake Man, who I talked about extensively, I think not last month, but the month before that, I did have him in Tier 0. I still think Snake Man's a phenomenal unit, but obviously just looking at everything in the grand scheme of things, yeah, I'd probably leave him in Tier 1 for now. But then we move on to these two here, Shirohoshi Manchuri V2 and V1, Vivi Rebecca. These two units have probably the best specials in the game, just in terms of these legends and their usabilities on lots of different teams. These two characters are so good. I mean, like, you had the V2 waifu batch, how they released together, where you had Vivi Rebecca being so central to Striker and Cerebral, but then you had this Shirohoshi Manchuri, which was like, oh yeah, I've just got a rainbow special that helps like every single team that I'm on. This character has Hunger as well, so very good for the GARP challenges or just any time you're inflicted with it. This unit has the ability to give you rainbow slots, chain boost, amazing utility. I cannot tell you how useful this character actually is. I love using this unit. Obviously, Captain Effect, not my favorite, but special ability is bonkers, and the fact that you can use their switch effect to guarantee you overhealing, like you don't even have to use their special during that turn, you can just continuously switch every single turn, and you're just healing 1500 health every single turn, and then auto healing, and then if you're using Liberal Hind, like, you can heal so much with this unit. I love this unit to death. That switch effect as well, not only giving you overhealing, but also removes Bind Despair and maybe another, I think maybe Slot Bind. I don't know, it does remove another debuff, I know, by one turn every time they switch, and dude, this unit is bonkers, man. I don't care what anyone says, this one ain't moving from tier 1 for a long-ass time. Viva Rebecca, we've already talked about her extensively in many other months, but she's still super great. Luffy Sanji, I mean, as much as I don't like the unit and like using them, I'm not a big fan of using the character. On paper, they've still got good stuff going on. 5 times captain, 2.5 attack boost, potentially. Hunger as well, like, they're still super great. I mean, great supports they can attach to as well. Kaido, I mean, honestly, Kaido being this high, a lot of people may think that's a little bit weird, but the fact is Kaido is still usable in a lot of content, and just being able to speed farm content is really fun and really great, and anytime you're able to use V1 Kaido, he's usually the best option for that choice, if you can use him for that content. Most of the time, he is the best choice if you can do it. So I just don't feel like he should be moving anywhere from tier 1 anytime soon anyways. Sanji Pudding, who I did luckily pull last month, which I was really happy about. They're great, honestly. I was really impressed with their kit. They're a little bit slow, of course. You know, most dual units are. They're very slow in terms of the way they clear content, but they're still really fun to use. Odin's still really good. I like Odin too, but I mean, again, if I'm building a free spirit team, I'm using Roger or versus Ace. And again, like if I'm building a strength team, I'm probably going to be using this guy, because a lot of the times with Odin, when you're building a strength team, a lot of them do have overlap with free spirit and or slasher, and you know, Roger just fills that hole better than what Odin's able to do. But of course, if you want to build a mono strength team with Odin, you can do some cool stuff with that. Obviously, Bullet is still a character. Getting him with a 1 slot, huge orb boost, and you can partner an attack boost in that as well. You guys may have seen as well, we did do a Bullet team for the Clash Marco, and that used Odin, it used Sweet Commanders. It was a really weird concoction of strength units, but it did get the job done, which was really awesome. V3 Ball Hancock, she's fine. Like, she's never ever bad. She's just great. Still has the best super type special in the game, in my opinion. Full water slots and 2.5 attack boost, you can't go wrong. The Halloween characters are still here. I do definitely think Law is much better, has access to better supports, and his captain effect, in my opinion, is a little better, though sometimes the paralysis removal is nice to have. Then you've got Sugar, who is just continuously being an awesome character. Toy soldiers are broken. Sober Mask is okay. He's not the best captain, but that usability as a sub just to generate full border matching slots and attack boost multiple times per run, or multiple times per turn even, is very strong, and is able to be used on a lot of good teams. He's a powerhouse character. He's a quick unit, has great synergy with recent release units. This unit's still really great. I mean, I don't use him as a captain, as I said, but still a really good sub. And then we've got Germa. So where am I going to put Germa? I think I'm going to put Germa a little bit above Sugar. That's where I would place Germa right now, just in terms of how much I used them in the previous month. I did use them a little bit more than Sugar, so I'd probably leave them there for now. But honestly, like, again, this is all just my opinion. You don't have to take it as, like, the lay of the land. It's not the law. You can just take it how you like. I do think Germa's a fantastic unit. But then we got Tier 0. Now, honestly, there is one change that I want to do here, and this is probably something that a lot of people have been saying for a long time now. But after, you know, using a lot of different characters this month, I finally realized, I've realized it, man. My vision is clear, that versus Big Mom is better than versus Kaido. Yes, I do definitely think that is the case now. As much as I love the speed component of versus Kaido, which I did use in a couple pieces of content, the accessibility and powerful effects of versus Big Mom was definitely a little bit better, because of the synergy that was present with the other recently released characters. I definitely found having to use versus Big Mom a little bit more than versus Kaido, because of some of the support characters that Big Mom had access to, which made it a little bit more accessible for me to be using that month, which is why I personally rank it above versus Kaido. I didn't use versus Big Mom that much as a captain this month, though. That's the thing, is I definitely use Kaido as a captain more, but then I use Big Mom as a sub way more than I use Kaido as a sub. So, I mean, take it as you will, but I found versus Big Mom, I mean, you still got to take the captain effect into account, and that captain effect is still ridiculously good. So you can't take anything away from either of these characters. I still think Shanks' crew is like so good, man. I still use Shanks' crew every single month. I'm using him so often. There's no way he's getting out of here. But then the top two, I said this on a couple of Discord servers as well. At this point in time, even on Japan's characters that they've released, in my eyes, Roger is still by far and away the best character in the game. Even after versus Akainu, I've been using him a lot. I love Goldie Roger still, and I know a lot of people say, oh yeah, but he's stupid, he's rainbow, it's boring. Like, I don't care. It's my man Goldie Roger. He is not going anywhere from tier 0. But something that we need to talk about are the new character releases, which I'm sure you guys are very excited about. So let's start off with the Super Evolution with Onami. Now, where are we going to put Onami? I think Onami deserves to be in tier 3 because she has actually a relatively usable captain effect. Her special ability obviously got a pretty good buff doing damage now, which is good. You can have some decent supports on that. Cooldown reduction, color affinity, like amazing additions to her special. And then her special didn't really change, it's just got additions added on top of it. So I think that Onami is going to be placed above Halloween Shanks. I'm definitely going to be using Onami more than Shanks. Onami has decent supports as well. So for all of those reasons, I think it's a pretty plausible place to just leave her here in tier 3. I think she's a pretty good unit. But then we move on to the brand new SugoFest exclusive. So let's start off with Magellan. Magellan, I am going to be putting him a little bit higher on the list. I think that he deserves to be in tier 2. But where would we put him in tier 2? I think Magellan would fit in about here. So the thing about Magellan is that his debuff that he inflicts on the enemy, a little bit different from Mihawk and Perona, is that his toxic that he inflicts is blocked way more often than what Mihawk and Perona's effect is. Captain effects, though, you definitely would take Magellan's over Mihawk and Perona's, at least in my opinion. Magellan's captain effect is actually super solid, very defensive. If you're above 70%, you get a 5 times boost. It has the ability to heal every time you enter a new stage. It gets rid of 10 turns of paralysis. His super tight special is a little bit to be desired, though. It's not super great. It gets rid of poison, which I think probably just should have been an inherent effect in his captain effect. But he also gives you the additional heal every time you enter a new stage as well, which is, again, like, pretty cool. But he does lack a little bit if the enemy has the toxic immunity or if they have the full immunity. That just really hurts the character, and that was showcased a lot in the GARP challenges. Like, when you use Magellan in the GARP challenges, you rely so heavily on the subs that you bring, unless if you're running some sort of hybrid team, which is an option. Just Magellan was a little bit underwhelming, I found, in those GARP challenges, and in regular content, still really good though, so long as you're able to get that ability to activate. But as long as you are still launching the special, you still get a color affinity boost from it. He still provides pretty decent utility. The double special activation is awesome on this character as well, but I think honestly, he deserves to be in tier 2, okay? So let's move on to the next one, which is going to be Blackbeard. Now, Blackbeard, a very controversial unit right here. So Magellan went in tier 2. Blackbeard, I'm sorry, man, but I think either Blackbeard goes bottom of tier 2 or top of tier 3. I don't see him being anywhere higher than that. I think to be generous to him, I'm going to put him in tier 2 because he definitely still has stuff going on here. Yeah, for sure. I would definitely rather use Katakuri over Blackbeard. He was so annoying to plan for. Like, the thing about Blackbeard is you really have to ensure that you're using the special and the switches of your characters at the right time to ensure that, you know, you want to enter the final boss stage, you want to cut their health by 10%, so it gives you a little bit of a higher chance of clearing, and that was very important. You had to plan for that for sure, and especially in GARP challenges was a little bit annoying to use him as well. In regular content, sometimes I just had to hybrid stuff because just doing double Blackbeard was just not a very viable option. That was one thing with Blackbeard that I found to be super annoying, is that increased damage taken hurts so badly, man. It really, really does. His special ability is so lackluster as well. And the 1.0 chain boost is nice, and honestly, that's basically all he does in terms of damage increase to your team. And I feel like if that was the only thing they were going to give him, they should have given him the best chain boost in the game. Like, I said it in one of my videos as well. If they're just going to give him a chain boost, just make him a 1.5 chain booster or something, or give him like crazy chain boundary or something. That's what they should have done, not a 1.0 chain boost. While that is nice, it's not that much. And he does extend the duration of your attack and orb boost by 1. I think what they could have done to make that a little bit more unique is to potentially, like, any positive buff on your team, increase it by 1. Increase it, like, so you could have done color affinity, conditional boost, anything, increase it by 1, or made the attack and orb boost increase by 2 turns instead. I think that would have been super cool, because that would have mean that, like, any 1-turn boost becomes a 3-turn boost carried over multiple stages. That would have made him a little bit better, and it means if you only have one Blackbeard as a friend captain or your own captain to hybrid up, it means that the special ability isn't completely useless. That would have been a nice change, but there's a lot of things about Blackbeard that are just really poorly designed, and I think if they did it correctly, this unit potentially could have been one of the best legends in the game. But unfortunately, I feel they missed the mark there. But We now have the best of the three, which is Gecko Moria. Dude, I was so impressed with this unit, man. This unit has such a good captain effect. You have healing upon healing upon healing every time you kill something, every time you hit it perfect. Great captain effect. Super tight special was fantastic as well. Orb blocking, damage, cooldown reduction, getting around special reverse, special ability, full border matching slots, 2.5 orb boost, damage nullification to an extent, and then a color affinity on the turn after. This unit is crazy for Driven and Powerhouse teams. He is easily a tier 1, no doubt in my mind, and I'm gonna say it, he's definitely better than Luffy and Sanji. I feel like I would much rather use him over Luffy and Sanji every day of the week, no doubt in my mind. I was so impressed with this character. This unit is crazy good. I really do like Gecko Moria a lot. He was very impressive, and he was one of the characters where I was like, yeah, I'll use versus Big Mom as the captain, as the sub to showcase Moria, and that was a great combination because you have the attack boost, you have the orb boost, so you move on to the next room, you get orb boost, you get color affinity. Those two characters together, very, very nice combination. But honestly, I think versus Big Mom with her huge boost that you get all the time, and the fact that you have the really nice healing capabilities with her captain effect as well. It boosts 3 different types of units. You got strength, psi, and int. You got really vast amount of characters you can use with that. So for those reasons, I do think versus Big Mom is a slightly ahead. Plus the versus effect is really nice for her as well. But Moria, don't sleep on Moria, man. He was very impressive, honestly. I was very, very impressed with how he went. But anyways, that seems to be the end of this tier list for this month of August. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below in the comment section on where you guys would personally rank some of these characters. What are your guys' top 5 best legends in the game? Let me know down below in the comment section. I'd be very interested to hear. And of course, you know, if things progress this month and I continuously like to use Moria and Super Type Kaido, I might make them go into tier 0. Who knows, man? Who knows? But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video today, and if you guys did enjoy it, make sure you go ahead and leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all of the content that I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But other than that, guys, I will see you guys within the next video.